Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great day for Philly. It's a great day for the city, and just want to thank Paul George and the George family for choosing Philly. Obviously, it's not very often that a franchise can land a player of Paul's caliber. Someone that is a future Hall of Famer. And clearly, with Joel, with Tyrese, with Nick as our coach, we are all in. We're all in for this city. And to get Paul to choose Philly, he had many options. I can't tell you how appreciative we are. And, honestly, to the fans, you were part of it. All of the love and the outpouring and the news, we put it all on a video. I got a chance to bring Dr. J, and so the city of Philly really showed quite well. And thank you guys, and thank the George family, and thank you, Paul, for choosing us. Very much appreciated.
Yes, sir. I want to thank Josh and ownership for giving us the resources. We mentioned it at Tyrese's press conference. I want to thank him again for being patient and allowing us to have the ability to add Paul. And I want to reiterate what Josh said about we've learned pretty quickly that when you get a great player like Paul George, you also get his great family, who's here today, who we got the privilege to meet during the free agency process and since, and they're already all in on Philly and very excited. But look, we're all here to win. I know Paul's here to win, Nick, myself, Elton Brand, ownership, Joel, Tyrese. This is about putting three really, really great players together, and how well Paul fits with those players. I think ultimately, I'll let Paul talk about how he made his decision, but I know he's hungry to win, just like the fans of Philadelphia, and he saw this as the best place where he had a chance to win.
So me?
To you? Yeah, all you. It's your podcast host.
They don't hear from us.
Just thank Josh and Daryl for this opportunity. Definitely look forward to coming to Philly. My family looked forward to it. We felt that this was the best and next step in the phase of my career. I thought everything just aligned perfectly, where they're at and where they're trying to go and where I'm trying to get to as well. I think we got a real legitimate shot. I've always been a fan of Tyrese and Joel from afar. And Joel has secretly been one of my closest all-star game friends. And so, it kind of felt inevitable that at some point we would link up and be teammates. I'm all in. My family's here all in. And I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this next opportunity.
All right, we'll open up for questions. Please start with your name and affiliation. We'll start with Gina.
Gina Mizell from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Hi, Paul. Welcome to Philly. You just sort of touched on it with Joel and Tyrese, but just how do you feel like you fit in with those two in particular, and just maybe how you think you can enhance their games and how they can enhance your game?
Yeah, obviously Tyrese has the youth. He has the legs, the speed, the quickness. Similar to when I played alongside Russ, just the opportunities he creates with his speed and his, tempo to push the ball. I think I can space the floor for him, and just, be a veteran to kind of help him, from a defensive side, offensively. I think we just complement each other so well, and same goes for Joel. I've been watching their games, and I know it's tough for him a lot of times to be able to play one-on-one from the block, just because of the spacing and shooters around him. And so I'm looking forward to that, giving him a chance to play, his game and be aggressive on the block and, be able to make quick moves to go score because there is that space there. And just, being a late game performer, someone to take a lot of pressure off both of those guys, to close games out, to extend leads, to finish games. And so, I'm again, just looking forward to just being on the floor with those two because I know they'll help me a ton.
And then just in the couple of weeks since you signed your contract, just can you describe what it's been like getting to know Coach Nurse, just sort of those initial conversations sort of in these early days that you've been part of this franchise?
Yes, it's a little early. We're still getting to know each other. But, the time I've been around him has been awesome. Again, one of those people you learn from afar, and I see how hard his team plays, and the respect that the players have for him goes a long ways. I was a teammate of Kawhi's, and Kawhi spoke highly of him, and so Kawhi speaks, you listen. I've learned that. So I have utmost respect for Coach Nurse, and looking forward to being coached.
Daryl, you mentioned the fit of these three guys together, and obviously you've done a lot of work around them, getting Kelly, getting Kyle back, getting Andre, Caleb, Eric, some of these other guys. What else do you think you need to do to get this group to the level you needed to really be the championship contender you want it to be?
Well, I was just talking to Coach Nurse, and Joel, Paul, and Tyrese are our partners in how do we put together the right group to win this. We feel great about the players we brought in, but as folks in Philly know, I always see that a team evolves during a season. As we see things that are needed to address the team, we have draft picks that we could use. We're going to keep an open roster spot so that as we have injuries or the needs really arise where Coach Nurse sees something we need to do, we'll address those, and we feel like this is going to be a special season.
And Paul, you mentioned how you're all in on being here. Obviously, you've talked at length on your pod about sort of how negotiations went with the Clippers, but I was curious, as things played out, was there anywhere else you really thought about as a realistic option besides being in Philly once it got to that point with the Clippers, or was this sort of the place you zeroed in on, and why?
Yeah, I mean, I think Philly was number one for majority of free agency. Obviously, there was other teams in play that I was contemplating on, but Philly was kind of number one because it kind of fit my game. It fit where I was at in my career, and like I said, it fit the trajectory that the team was going, and so it kind of made sense amongst the other options out there. And again, I just went with my gut feeling. They made it feel like home from day one, and so at that point it was kind of an easy decision.
Hey, what's up, Paul? Kai Carlin, Sixers Wire, USA Today. Just how important is training camp, I feel like, going to be this upcoming season in order to kind of begin the gelling process with you, Tyrese, Joel, learning what Nick wants to run? How important is those couple of days really going to be for you to begin the season off the right way?
Real important. I think training camps in general are real important to start a season out because you want to kind of get on the same page. You want to gel. Everything you mentioned, you got to click, and you got to be on the same page to start the year out. So it'll be real important. I'm looking forward to it, to get right to it, get thrown right in it, and just be me. That's the best thing that I can do is just bring what I bring, and just do it at a high level.
And then if I could just follow up, you've obviously played with a lot of superstars in the past. I guess, like, maybe what stands out to you about Joel, maybe similarities, differences that maybe you see from other stars you've ever played with before?
I mean, Joel's just a hard worker. He's you can tell. I've played with them all, from Russ, Kawhi. They all have the same intangibles, and that's super competitive, want to win against all odds, and work extremely hard. And so I see that same quality in Joel, which makes me excited to be alongside him out there. When you got guys that are willing to go through, I mean, I've seen it. You know, he played through injuries. He wanted to be on the floor, and that is what's most exciting. When guys, you know, are, you know, committed to, you know, being out there and playing hard and working hard. And so, again, when it's compared to other, you know, stars that I play with, Joel has those same, you know, qualities that you look for when you want to be teammates with, you know, someone that's trying to win at a high level.
Paul Hudrick, Liberty Ballers. Hey, Paul, welcome to Philly. With respect to the other places you've been, Philly's a little bit different, a little bit more intense. I know you've gotten a crash course on the city and everything that comes with it, but just what has it been like for you kind of adjusting to that, and are you kind of looking forward to the opportunity to kind of be in that sort of environment?
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, honestly. At the end of the day, it's brotherly love, right? So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I think pressure is good. I think intensity is good. And, you know, that's what you get up for. You know, you want the fans to be fired up. You want them to, you know, put that pressure on you to go out and perform and win games. That's our job. And so I'm looking forward to it, you know. Be as critical and as hard as you can. I think it's going to work out for myself and for the team. And so I'm looking forward to that. You know, I'm not scared or shying away from that at any point, at any stage. That's what you look forward to.
Hi, Paul. Dave Uram from KYW News Radio. Welcome to Philadelphia. You've gone on deep playoff runs before. This organization hasn't been past the second round in 23 seasons. So what do you think are the keys to getting past that second round? And obviously you want to go deeper than that.
I think for us it's just finishing healthy.
You had to point that out.
Yeah. The interview was going so good. I think, you know, for us, staying healthy. But again, having another closer on the floor, another, you know, big shot maker, and just a defensive stopper. And I think just giving credit to the other guys that we have out there. You know, I think we are a pretty deep and complete team outside of myself, Joel, and Tyrese. And so I think that should be, you know, really what puts us over the hump. But again, it's more so just being there for those late game situations. I've been in, you know, tough games, tough series. I know what that looks like, and kind of know how to keep a locker room together in those moments. And so, you know, again, just using my leadership, what I've learned, and being around other guys to kind of help get us through those tough moments.
Hey guys, Lauren Rosen, Sixers.com. Josh, this one's for you. When you think about the culmination of all the work that you put in over these last few years with Daryl, with Tyrese's patience to bring Paul George to this city, what's it like to look back on the journey and realize where you've gotten to, and how excited are you for the future?
Yeah, look, I mean, I just obviously credit the front office, Daryl, Elton, you know, Nick coming on board, Joel, Tyrese, and all of us being aligned, you know, around, you know, kind of where we are now with Joel, Tyrese, and just being all in, you know, for the city in terms of doing what we're supposed to do, which is to, you know, set the team up, you know, for a championship run, championship caliber team, and that's kind of where we are. And obviously the journey's not done, right? We got to deliver. So I'm just, you know, excited that I think we are set up. I mean, obviously, there's a long journey. You know, there's 82-game journey, and then there's playoffs, and everyone needs to stay healthy. But we're set up, and look, all of us are. It's hard not to be excited, right, about this team. You know, I've been here for the last 10 years, 12 years. And, you know, this is, you know, amongst, if not the best team that we've had since I've been here. So, listen, we know it's a long journey. The NBA is tough. I think we have the right people, the right leadership, and, you know, we're all in. And, you know, as Daryl said, we're not done. You know, Daryl and the front office have accumulated, extra piff for, a bunch of firsts. And, we're not done as an ownership group in terms of our support. And so we're excited. Let's bring it on, right? Let's go.
We've all seen the reports, and you shared with us about bringing Dr. J with you to California to talk to Paul. What was it like for you guys to plan that meeting and then execute in such a cool way?
Well, look, when you're seeking Paul George on your team in free agency, basically you show up when you're told. We ran into a thunderstorm, so the good doctor cracked open a vodka. We hung out. It was a long journey. Paul and his family were very generous with their time. We were supposed to show up at 8. It was 11. So it was a late meeting, but it was free agency, right? And you gotta be there, and you've got you're recruiting, right? You're selling your city, your situation to someone that has a lot of options, and it was an amazing. I think there was an amazing video. The Sixers team and the Sixers front office continue to really surprise me as to how creative they are. Many Philly celebrities, many fans showed up in Paul's living room. So it was a great day. I can't say I was exhausted, but you do what you got to do. It was a lot of fun.
Paul, Austin Krell, 97.3 ESPN. You've been a part of star-level duos throughout your career, but this is the first time where the three guys are positionally 1, 3, 5, and they're all prior year All-Stars. I guess schematically, how does your job change at all compared to what it's been in the past?
I don't think much, honestly. I know what I'm out there to do, and that's ultimately put the ball in the basket and try to guard the best player on the other team. And so, again, with that is, at times I know that during the course of a year it's going to be a long season, but the three of us, I think, can carry a ton of that workload. I look forward to playing with such a presence in Joel. And I don't think I've played with someone at that level, at that size, that dominates. So really looking forward to what that looks like on the floor. But to answer your question, I don't think it changes much. I know what I'm here to do, and just go out there and do my job.
And you said in your pod that you wanted to stay in LA if all things were equal. I guess what have your impressions been of Philadelphia thus far that you've been around?
It's been nice. It's been a warm welcoming since I've been here, from free dinners to, good cheesesteaks, so it's been warm welcoming. I think everywhere we've been so far has been a lot of love. You could tell the city is ready and thirsty to win, and so already I'm ready to get to work and put the hard hat on and go out and try to compete for a championship. But it's been nothing but love since the second we've been here.
Kyle, that's that.
Hey, Paul, over here. Kyle Newbeck, PHLY. You mentioned the secret all-star friendship with Joel to open the presser. I'm sure you know this. He's not exactly Mr. Social, keeps like kind of a close circle. So how did that relationship come about, and how involved was he throughout this summer other than what we saw on NBA Countdown?
It all started with the side eye. It was the side eye.
Yeah, I kind of just got that read from him. I'm not much of a social guy in the all-star setting. I kind of keep to myself. And so randomly, he came to me and we just started talking, and this was all-stars, couple all-stars back. And then it got to a point where it was like, man, I look forward to talking to Joel this all-star weekend. And, the next all-star comes on and here we are again, chopping it up. How's the kids? How's this? Congratulations on shoe deal. We just, over time, just built, a friendship. And, I think what kind of hit it home is, we had a conversation before these convos even started. We had a conversation, and, it's basically like, man, he he opened up to me. You know, I don't you know, have a lot of people I talk to. I this, I that. I keep to myself. But he was like, man, regardless of what goes on, I look at you as someone that, you know, I want to be friends with for, you know, a long part of my life. And that was deep to me. You know, that was deep to me because, you know, we knew each other, but, you know, we didn't know each other on that level yet. And for him to just open up to me, it kind of just, you know, it felt right. Like, you know, this is someone, obviously, that I get along with. We've spent a ton of time doing All-Star games. And so just at that point on, we kind of just built a stronger relationship to where it came to this summer. We talked and, you know, we kind of just had our ways of how this could work, what it looked like, us being out there together. And again, it just made sense. You know, at the end of the day, it just made sense. We both were kind of at the same level of what we wanted out of it, and we felt we could have helped each other. And you know, I think our relationship's pretty strong.
And I guess, you know, basketball-wise, you've played every role from, like, undisputed #1 guy when you started out in Indiana to L.A. It was dependent on the night, right? Kawhi's healthy, Kawhi's not, whatever it is, you're changing your role a lot. I guess, what would you say to Joel and Tyrese is kind of the most important thing about, you know, being a member of, like, a big three like that and how to navigate that together?
It's easy, man. Just go win. Let's go win. Like, there's no ego with me. I think people took that out of context when we speak about my time in LA and, you know, the second option conversation. I think people kind of took that out of context. I just want to go win. It's not about shots for me. It's not about, you know, having the ball in my hands the whole game. It's about winning. I want to make winning plays. I know when, over a course of game, when I need to be aggressive, when I need to, you know, raise the level. But for me, it's about winning. That's all I care about, is trying to win, putting everything towards that. And that's really the conversation us three need to have, myself, Joel, and Tyrese. Whatever it takes, let's go do it. Let's get the job done. And then we just relay that to the team.
What's going on, Paul George? It's Zach Chavalella, Metro Philadelphia, Philly Sports Network. Welcome to Philly, and you mentioned earlier that you picked number 8 based on the influence of Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you could speak on his influence to you a bit and what you would like your legacy in Philadelphia to be by the time your time's here done.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kobe is Kobe. He's one of the reasons I picked up the basketball, being a Southern California kid. The biggest influence on me. And so, you know, obviously 13 is retired, 24 is retired. And the number 8 has an importance to me, something that every day when I put that jersey on, I needed something to remind me to go out there and be the best player that I can be. And the number 8 just, you know, fit perfectly. Him being someone that kind of grew up here as well in Philadelphia, it just kind of has so many meanings to me, and it just felt right to wear that number. And so that's just where the idea came from. And then from a legacy standpoint, you know, obviously if we win and get past the second round, you know, then we're on to something good. And hopefully it's a window that we can keep winning and winning at a high level and being successful. And so no better place to do it, to win in, than Philadelphia, to me, with the fan base, you know, just the passion that goes into sports here in Philadelphia. There's really no other place, you know, I wanted to align with and try to win in.
Set me up perfectly. Hey, Paul. Kate Scott. I'm looking forward to calling your games here for NBC Sports Philadelphia. Really excited you're here. But yeah, going back to the meeting. At least read about what it meant to have Dr. J there for your family. Saw you with the AI T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a California kid like you, but even in Cali, you hear about the Sixers and you know what it means. So what does it mean for you to now be putting on the red, white, and blue here in Philly for the Sixers?
It means a lot. It means a lot. Again, you talk about passion, you talk about intensity, and you talk about that you know, just hard workers, that will and that desire to win. That's what got me to where I am today. Being a kid from California, grew up in a small city, I kind of wore that on my sleeves. So it fits perfectly being here in Philadelphia. So yeah, again, it comes to just perfect timing. This all came together, and it's right where I want to be at this time.
And the question everybody really wants to know, we have all the, the rich guys in the room now. Who really didn't want to take off their shoes at your house? Who was like really against?
Nah, it was pretty easy. It was pretty easy. Everybody was, and it wasn't no house rule. I don't know even where it started. I guess one shoe came off and everyone followed. But it was funny. Thank you guys. It was,
We're all
good
married.
home training.
We do as we're told.
We didn't know how important our socks were going to be that night. So.
More, we'll go to Dan then Dave. Dan Galson, Associated Press. Paul, I mean, now that it's over, I mean, is there a tinge of regret or even bitterness with how it ended in L.A.? I mean, you obviously would have liked to have stayed there at some point. Steve yesterday said they made you a fair offer designed to continue to win championships there. It just wasn't what you wanted. Now that it's over, how do you kind of look back at the ending of your time there?
Amazing time there. No regret. Super thankful to Steve, to Lawrence. They went out and gave me an opportunity to play home, which, at that point in time was a ton of value for myself to be able to play in front of my family, my friends, and have a legitimate shot to chase a championship every season. Obviously, injuries kind of deterred us a little bit. But just to speak on that situation as a whole, there's no ill will. Again, forever grateful for the opportunity that they gave me to come back. It didn't work out. That's business. But, I had to make the right decision for my family. And so, again, I think both sides, we had a great mutual talk as it all played out. And I felt it was great closure on the situation. I'm happy for them. They're happy for me. And I'm a Sixer now, so that's behind me.
David Murphy with the Philadelphia Inquirer. You mentioned health, obviously. I mean, it's such a big thing, but how do you actually control that? I mean, do you have any ideas on, what you three can do to kind of get through this season and put yourself in a position to really go in full steam ahead?
Well, I think just taking the pressure off, again, Joel. I think it's fair to say, Nick, we don't want to see him isolating at the top of the key. I think I can kind of help him, get through a season healthy. And again, it's just not putting so much pressure on him. Regardless of how good you feel, I think pressure causes a lot of injuries as well. When you think you have to get through and play and, have the touch every possession, and, that kind of just wears you down, especially for how physical he is. And so that's just the key, is just, everybody do their part. We play our part, make sure we work on our bodies, conditioned, and we just, don't put that pressure on one individual to go out and win games for us.
And Daryl, I guess it's probably a question for you as well. I mean, is there anything you guys can do organizationally to manage the regular season in a different way from previous years?
Yeah, so Simon, in cooperation with Coach Nurse and Elton and myself, absolutely want to put together a plan to give them the best chance to be playing at their best basketball going into April. And that's something that'll be a conversation with Simon, Paul, Joel, Nick, and even Tyrese. Obviously he's had a good run and young legs, but, Well, we're gonna have, if we put Kyle in charge of that, he'd just say everyone plays 48 minutes, and so. But yeah, no, Kyle. We do have some, Eric. We've got some guys that are really great veterans, as Nick just mentioned. And so the nice thing is we have the depth to get through the regular season and focus on the playoffs.
Thank you, guys.